Hello Live Wires, Heather Boyd Wire here. Today I'm going to show you the final steps of making the jungle Suncatcher that I started on the Let's Get Wired live stream. First we're going to make the flower, so I'm going to use 24 gauge wire, cut a little piece of the colored wire, and then use my round nose pliers just to form the petals. So we just go back and forth 5 times to make 5 petals. I'll link up some other flower tutorials in the description below, and we want to just make them quite small. So we have our 5, and then we're going to bend one wire up in the center and then take the other wire and we're going to wind it around. So use your round pliers to help it out a bit at the start, and then wind it around to secure the end in place. Clip it, and then just adjust the petals so they're evenly spaced. And now get another piece of 24 gauge wire in green. You can cut it quite long so you can do several at once. And now we're going to bend this around, like twist it together with the colored wire, the green and the colored wire. Clip the end, just twist it about 3/8 of an inch, and then get the other end of the green and wind it around back over the twist. So we're just going to wind it back, and then in the position of your first leaf, just do a little loop and crisscross the wires and twist them a few times, and do another loop for the other leaf, and same, crisscross them and twist them together till you get to the bottom. So there's your flower, and you're going to attach them to the ring of the Suncatcher, and as you twist it on, you can form little blades of grass along the way just by bending the wire back, and just keep. For the parrot, we're going to use 20 gauge wire, about 12 inches, put on a 4mm miracle bead, and wind the wire around the bead. So we're just going to go around to the front and to the back of the bead to secure it in place and to have a nice little outline on the bead. So from there, we need to form the beak. So we're just going to use our round nose pliers to bend it down and the flat nose pliers to bend it up at a sharp angle. From there, we're going to get the round pliers again and curve it around to form the chest of the bird. From there, you want to check that it's going to fit in your Suncatcher. So just form the back, curve it around, and check again. It can go above the frame of the Suncatcher, that's fine too. And now we're going to bend the bottom of the wing up at a sharp angle. Get our larger round pliers to curve the top of the wing. Adjust it as you need. Curve it straight down. Just wiggle it around so it's in the right position. And from there, we're going to bend it out where the claw will be. Check again that it's going to fit. And then bend it up at the end of the tail. So a nice little sharp angle with the round or flat pliers, and curve it around so the wires will connect where the feet are. And from there, we can just take our round pliers and help it out a little bit to curve it around the other wire. This helps so it doesn't get distorted. Then give it a little tug around to secure the wires together and clip the end. So there's the outline of the parrot. Pinch it in with the flat pliers if you need. Now I'm going to fill it in with some red wire, so you can get 24 gauge red wire, and wind it around the frame any which way that you want. I'm just going to wind it back and forth to fill in the space a little bit. The 24 gauge wire works well for this. It's quite thin and flexible, and it's really good for weaving and wrapping. So twist it around the frame to secure it. Grab your flat pliers if you have trouble accessing the wire, and then you're going to clip the end, pinch it in so there's no little scratchy ends. And now we're just going to go ahead, wind it around the frame, and then back to the other side to fill in the bird with some red wire. So go back and forth, one side to the other, twisting it around the frame to hold it in place. You want to keep the shape of the bird, so make sure you don't pull too tightly to distort it. The 24 gauge is quite flexible, so you shouldn't have a problem winding it back and forth in the frame. So just keep going down towards the tail of the bird. Keep winding it around. We just want to fill in those empty areas. Now I'm winding it from the chest area to the edge of the wing, just to fill in that small area there. Whatever you think looks good. So now I'm down right to the tail, and I'm going to wind it down the tail to give it some color. So just coiling it around that tail, pushing it up if you want the wires closer together to have more color. I'm running out of wire, so I'm just going to finish it off there. And now we're just going to get a different wire. This is a 24 gauge wire in gold color, just starting by attaching it to one side. And now I'm going to add beads for the wings to give it a little bit of contrast, so it'll show up against the wire. So I'm using seed beads. We're just going to start with some red ones. Just 2 seem to fit there. It depends on how big your bird is. And we're just going to secure the wire on either side of the wing. And then I'm going to add a couple of yellow beads. So we'll stick those yellow beads, will go below the red ones. And again, wind it through there to hold them in place. I just went by a photo of a parrot. You can use your creative license to do different colors. So we've got the yellow there. And just pinch them in so they hold together. And keep weaving the wire through. So we've got red and yellow. And now I'm going to add some blue. We've got a royal blue, which is a pretty color. Add the blue and weave the wire through to hold the blue beads in place. And it depends on how big your bird is, how many rows of beads you're going to need. I just improvised, then I added turquoise. I love turquoise, such a pretty color. Secure it on the other side. We're just sewing those beads on there. And if you need another bead, you can choose whatever color you want. Doesn't have to be accurate. And just keep pinching it to hold the beads in the right position. And I decided to put one more bead, which is a green bead. and then we just wind the wire around. After that, we'll just clip the end. There's our little parrot, super cute, and we have to attach it to the Suncatcher. I will post good photos of these in the Wire Makers Club and in the community sections so you can see them up close, and the templates will be available in my Etsy DIY shop with very clear photos of the finished piece. So we're just attaching it to the branch with the wire, the 20 gauge wire that formed the outside of the parrot. Just wind it around a few times, that'll hold it in place, and clip the end. Wiggle it around to position it how you like, and do any other adjustments you need to do. And now I'm going to make a snake. So I have other tutorials for snakes that I'll link up in the description. We just bend it at the halfway point and then bend the wire on an angle to add the bead. It's a little seed bead. Hold it in place and wind the wire around. From there, we're going to bend the other side for the other eye, add the seed bead, and then wind the wire around again. So it goes straight down. So there's this face of the snake, and then bend the wires underneath the eyes across and down. Same on the other side, just across and down. I use 22 gauge wire for this. I find it a little soft. You can try 20 gauge for the frame. And then we are going to go ahead and weave in some 24 gauge wire. So we'll just weave that in. A basic weave, so you twist it around one side and then bring it over to the other side and twist it around there, and that'll hold it in place. Like I said, the outside wire I used is 22. It's a little soft, so you can use 20 gauge wire so it won't get so distorted. And just keep weaving until you get to the end and wind one end around to make a coil, kind of looks like a rattlesnake, and then clip the other end. From there you can curve it around, find where you want to attach it on the Suncatcher, hold it in place, wind the tail around, or I guess that's the body is the tail. Keep winding until you like the position. If you don't like the position, you can always remove it and put it elsewhere. You could even wind it around one of the trees, would be cute. So we're just going to twist it around and then make any adjustments that you need so it has a nice look, and there you go. I'll link up below the part 1 and part 2 of the live stream, and I will link up the templates in the description below as well. So thanks so much for watching the video. Give it a big thumbs up if you liked it. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for lots more wire art and jewelry making videos. And if you'd like to share photos of your wire art and jewelry, be sure to join the Wire Makers Club on Facebook. And if you'd like to check out my work on Etsy, my husband and I specialize in custom wedding cake toppers and funky jewelry. I also have a mailing list, so if you'd like to sign up below, I'll send you my Wire Art Essentials ebook. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you the next time.